They say if you love your job, you never feel like you work a day in your life. And despite the amount of hours that I work for these families, I feel that way because I never dread going to work any morning. I started off thinking I was going to be a coal miner. And now a vast majority of my practice is actually representing coal miners and their families. I grew up in the coal fields of southern West Virginia. Long line of coal miners in my family. A lot of my friends are coal miners. My friends' parents are coal miners. And I started off, I was going to be a mining engineer. Went to college on a mining engineering scholarship. But I saw how in the area where I grew up, people needed help. People would be hurt as a result of companies cutting corners, and those workers would be discarded just like they're a number, and they were left to try and suffer through the workers' compensation system. And for me, it was a natural fit to find a way because I always wanted to help people. But I came from the lowest person on the totem pole, starting here as a fresh hire right out of law school, to one of the partners and owners of the firm now. And for me, it's something I take great pride in. You know, we represent blue-collar working families, and those families are the backbone of this state. You know, the state of West Virginia was built on the backs of working men and women who rely on the strength of their bodies to go and put their blood, sweat, and tears in to earn a good living for their family. And for me, it's important that when companies cut corners and cause people to be injured or killed as a result of the fault of that company. I think what sets me apart in the work that I do for my clients is I'm really selective as to what cases I take on, but I treat all my clients like their family. I give them my personal cell phone number out. I tell them, text me, call me, no matter what time of day it is if you have a question, because the lawyer that you choose when you go through a catastrophic injury is important to you. It's the most important decision that you're going to make as to what lawyer you have, because the future of your family and their well-being is placed in that lawyer's hands. I think it's important that your lawyer have an understanding of the actual work that you do. You know, having worked in the mines, having studied mining engineering, it's something for me that having an understanding of how the mining process works, what equipment is involved, I think that is one of the things that sets me and this law firm apart in what we do. While I pride myself in the work that I do for the working families I represent, first and foremost, I'm a father. I've got two boys that are 11 and 7, and they're the light of my life. But, you know, for me, the work that I do is something, it takes a lot of time. And when I lay my head down at night, if I've missed nights away from my kids because I'm traveling out of town for work, or I've had to put in late hours to the office, I need to know that it's something that's a worthwhile cause. If I'm giving up my time with my family, when I lay my head down, I need to know it's for a good reason. And that reason is the working families that we represent here. I think something that might surprise people with the actual practice of law compared to what you may see on television is these cases can take months or sometimes years from start to finish, whereas on television, it may look like it's a 1 day, 1 week, or 2 week process from start to finish of a case. And sometimes clients can be frustrated if they understand it could take 18 months or 2 years for a case to see its way through to a conclusion. I develop a relationship and become friends in large part, even though they're clients when I represent these working families. But there are a few that have stood out to me. One in particular, without going into specifics, a young man was paralyzed from the chest down when he was in his late 20s. He had a son that was less than a year old, lived in a rental property that had 18 steps to go up, and was going to be confined to a wheelchair the rest of his life. So for me, as I was a young father about that same time and had my first child, it was something that was important for me to be able to make sure that he had the stability of knowing that his family would be taken care of, that he could have a home that was accessible to him. And without going into details about the results, I was able to provide that, and we've remained friends some 6 years after his case is over. I have to say, I don't know what I would do if I wasn't an attorney. I perhaps may have went to med school because I do want to help people, but I can't think of another job that I'd be happier doing. I am so blessed to be able to help working families and try to give them the comfort and stability and guidance that they need when they're going through what is probably the roughest experience of their life. So I am truly blessed. I will have many more lawsuits in the future that I work on. I've had plenty over the last 20 years that I've been doing this, helping working families. But for me, what motivates me most, I think, is for each one of those cases, that's the one chance that family has to be made whole for what they've went through. Anything worth having is worth working for. If you or a loved one has been injured in the workplace and you need help, Call the lawyer other lawyers call to work on cases like this. Give us a call at Bailey Javins Carter, 304-345-0346.